$100,000 a year. You know, a $100,000 home is going to be $50 a year. I don't have children in the school system. I could easily argue, say, well, you know, I don't want that. And that's money that is targeted just for that school, correct? Just for the school. Just for the school, nothing else. It's just for that school. And I think our kids deserve it.
I just wanted to see what they would be doing for our children, and I think if they could see that, but I don't know if they're going to touch the politics.
Well, you can't go wrong investing in education. To me, I see it as an investment in their future.
Well, I do too. I see it as a thing of you know, as I talked to Roger, he and Mr. Meadows went to the prisons, the prison, and
visit.
Visit prison, and probably they were shocked at the number of people who work there but don't live here. And the reason that they don't live here is you know, might as well be honest, has a lot to do with the quality of what this area has offered. It has to do with the schools and things like that. And I don't foresee having any grandchildren that live here, although I do have a grandchild to be in Beckley. I think our kids are worth it. I think our kids are absolutely worth having the absolute best that we can have there. And if I've got to pay an extra $50 on my tax bill, then I'm willing to do that. You know, it hits me as hard as it hits anybody else. I mean, it does. It hits me as hard as anybody else. I think our kids deserve it. I think our kids deserve. I mean, there's nothing like when they were building Warfield Middle School. Bill was on that board, wasn't he, Bill? There's nothing like when the kids at Warfield, the old Warfield Middle School, went to that new middle school and saw that building. It was like, you know, beautiful, absolutely beautiful, absolutely one of the best schools. And I want that. I mean, I do.
I don't think there's any of us that doesn't want that.
Yeah, I don't.
I just wish we had the public forum beforehand.
Well,
that was my only. I want the people to be informed. That way, it's not just a big mess after this meeting's over.
Yeah, we can still have.
There's no tax increase.
There's no
Just
tax.
because of this action.
I know.
There's
Well,
no
I
revenue.
know that, but they're not learning.
Well, we're going to address the public forum. We'll have no less.
We will have a public forum.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
what
have
I'm
multiple.
it's about.
You know, we'll have multiple, and the whole thing about it is, this will send a message to Keith Hall and to our state legislators. Hey, they're serious. You know what I mean?
I think, like you said, we would agree with you. And we need to show, and here's how I feel about the nickel tax. And it's strictly for a new building, strictly for, and like Gary said, our kids deserve the best. And I'm willing, you know, to do that. But here, if the state, which is another thing which we'll find out hopefully here soon, on the emergency funding, and match, if they're willing, it's a two-way street now. It's a two-way street. They got to show me, you know, too.
Yeah.
It's not just us, but it's also them that they're serious too about educating kids in Eastern Kentucky. And I want to see it. And,
Yeah,
and I'm not going to settle, and I'm sure you're not either. I'm sure people out here, we're not going to settle for an $18 million a school. It's got to be what we're saying, a campus type, and one that's comparable to any school in this area or in Kentucky for that matter, because our kids have been shunned too long. And it's time, and hopefully our representatives, and Senator Jones, and here if we say, hey, we're willing to do this, and like I said, they need to step up and represent us. That's what they're voting in there to do, and that's what I voted to represent our kids, and I want the best for them. And I don't want to put a hardship, and it may put a hardship on them, you know, and I don't want to do that either. But our kids are worth it. And
Yeah, I think they are. I think they are.
Does anybody want to frame that in a motion?
but like I say, it's a two-way street. And like you say, if we have a forum, and they go keep
Can we
going.
have students to speak at the forum
Yeah.
Taylor?
You know, yeah, everybody.
We'll let you speak. Yeah. I mean,
And it's only for the period for your funding the school. Once that's over, I think it's recallable.
After the school's paid.
It's gone.
That's correct.
It's gone. I mean, that's.
I would actually like to make a motion that we
Have a second wrong with it. And this, for me, and for, this is our last shot to do something for our kids.
Yeah.
And I want it done, and I'm sure you all do too. You want it done right. Not just some mediocre job. The best.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Yes, sir.
I can ask this. I would like to get some kind of, it's obvious that I want to try to sell this in the paper. I mean, it's not.
You're trying to sell a paper.
I don't mean it like this. I'd like to have a model drawn up of what this thing will look like.
We're working on
That
it.
would be nice.
Have it, everything to what it's going to look like. In other words, what this thing will look
Yeah.
like.
And I want to hear, we want to hear what people in Martin County, how they
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
I mean, you parents, you
Well,
want
I
to
think after tonight, you're going to hear it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I want
As a parent, I'm not been blessed to be a parent, but you're willing to make pretty much sacrifice just about anything you got to make it better for your kids, and kids, you realize that how parents are.
But I want our community to hear our kids. I want them to have a voice in this. And I think if we can let our students have a voice, then it's so much smoother.
I wanna-
And less blood pressures are sky high. I'm for one, but,
Well, who would like
I think if they could just get that, it would just make a world of difference.
Who would like to have a high school with an aquaplex? If you don't know an aquaplex, it's like Shelton Clark was originally designed to have an indoor pool so that you can have a swing set. Would anybody like that? I mean, is that? And we're not talking about a whole lot of money. We were talking about when it's built. And I would say this. When it's Bilbo back there laughing, I would like people like Bilbo and Carol Chaffetz, who was on the board at the time that Warfield Middle School was built. And y'all were heavily involved in overseeing that, right? Overwatching all the faces. Yeah, how many of you in the school over there, and you notice when you go upstairs and you look down on the floor that you can see a mountain range? Is that right? On the gym floor, or not the gym floor, the cafeteria floor. You all got that done for no extra money, didn't you? Just a little, attention to detail. I mean, and you can tell that the people involved in the construction of that school were committed to excellence. And that's what I'd like to have in the high school. I mean, that's what I'd like to have, every little detail. I want a gym that's not going to be 600 seat. I want it to be big enough to host a regional tournament, district tournaments and things and all that. Everything the way that it should be.
And that swimming pool.
And the swimming pool. Yeah, I mean, okay,
Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action on school district insurance certification.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the Family Resource New Service Center. You had a copy in your packet, and you'll be signing this tonight, Mr. Chairman. This is an assurance. It's not the contract, but it's an assurance that we will continue the programs of the Family Resource New Service Centers in our district. And certainly we want to do that. And this is for fiscal year 15-16. So I recommend the board to approve that.
Any further discussion on the district insurance certification? Not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
On motion, any second? All second. Second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
100K.
Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action on 2012-13 education report.
Where's Marcy? Andy, you're up.
You all have a copy of the nutrition and physical activity report, and it's just a basic overview of the nutrition and physical environment, physical activity environment of our district. Talks about the new regs because of the Healthy Hungry 3 Kids action. Just shows that we're in compliance with all that. We did comply with 1 week of our menus to receive the extra 6 cents per meal reimbursement.
A lot of changes and pretty.
Well, they've actually relaxed some of the changes, thank goodness, yes. The meat and grain requirements, the maximums, they've relaxed those, so that was a real issue.
I'll also say, Board, that Marcy, you put in the paper, I think it was last week, may have been, an offer to the community. It gave her email, phone number. She's opened up her phone lines to anyone of the parents in the district or anyone that have concerns about the nutrition program that we have here in the district. Marcy and the folks are pretty quick to respond to those, so we appreciate what she does. And that Fund 51 is hers. It's food service, and it's, pardon the pun, it's very healthy.
Very healthy. And the kids get, kids get to eat. I mean, do they get enough? I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, like.
I've tried my best to keep everything on there that we possibly can.
Okay, because I mean, like if I'd go in, I'm a healthy eater. I like the way food, but I got something.
Sorry, Garrett, can't speak. Which, the only complaint, which I know kids don't like the same food, don't like the same food my wife likes. The only complaint really I've heard is what's the term, amount? The portion, okay, thank you. Sometimes I get, I don't know, you eat cafeteria, what about it? Let's go tweak that on with the truth. Portions. I mean, I was at the prison. And I saw what kind of portions they get. And I mean, I said it'd be simple for them to send out to Subway up there and what they eat. I mean, beef. So, that's the only, and I haven't had that many, but.
That's one of the
somebody,
things with the regulations.
Yeah, I've had.
I just think it's a shame
I
that
don't think
prisoners
they
eat.
get enough
And
to eat.
I
They don't.
believe in humane treatment, but I think it's a shame that they eat better than our kids.
I don't think they get enough to eat. I don't think they get enough to put on their plates. And then when they do eat what they got, they go back, they're told they can't have more, but yet they throw it in a slot bucket. I think the kids ought to have what they want before it's thrown away.
Now, I have
They
instructed.
can have more than.
Yes, they can have more. I have instructed all the managers.
I can speak about that at the high school. Any child who goes through the line and has food they're not going to eat, they have to take it. They set it on the table, and any child who wants more is welcome to go get it. It's not like money and food's being thrown away. They go through, they get everything they're supposed to get. If there's stuff they don't want, they set it on the table. If another child wants that, they just come up and pick it up and take it and eat it. I've watched that happen many times at the high school.
Well, I'm not trying to be ugly about this, but I've had parents talk, and I've heard them say things that, well, my child went back, and I've heard that the head cooks told them that they couldn't give them no more. Now, I've heard these stories.
Now, I will say this, I was at Inez
From
Elementary.
on, I don't think that'll happen anymore.
Yeah, I was at Inez Elementary, and I saw the kids up there, Santa Claus was there, and I just happened, I seen some kids, go by with some French fries and things on their thing, and I thought it looked a little sparse. But of course, I'm looking
That's
at
one
it.
of the things with the new regulations, the portion sizes are smaller.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from my perspective, how much I eat, the kid eat, and I know that.
Yeah, yes, they can purchase extras.
The only, I realize a lot can't do that, I wish there was some way we could fix that part too, but,
Now, if they're gonna.
third lunch to high school, they could just figure it out a little bit longer. My son is slow, and it's his fault. He is so slow. I pick him up and he starved to death. Well, Mom, I didn't make it in time. I said, son, you're going to have to speed up. Because he's always at the last of the line, But like if they could just figure out how to have more.
I think that even if they put small portions on the plate, that's fine. But if they want more, let them go back and get more.
Well, she said that they could.
Yeah, but-
Not as fast.
Well, they haven't been, you said, right?
But I've had some complaints from elementary schools, and half of them said they would not let them go back. And they rush them through these lunch things.
Yeah.
Rush them. her
Well,
eat.
we don't have, I don't have anything to do with the actual schedule.
No, I
of the
know,
lunches.
but,
That's-
I mean, I just think, you know,
Yeah, I commend,
I'm not,
Yeah.
none of this is directed towards you.
Yeah.
no, it's
But
not.
we gotta-
I'm
yeah.
just saying, you know.
Yeah, well, the whole thing about it is if a kid is denied, chance to go back, and get more,
And we do, now, the thing that a lot of people don't understand is the actual first reimbursable meal is free on our CEO program. That first meal is free to all students. But the seconds would be sold, as Donetta said. We can sell it, but now I have instructed all of the managers, if they're going to have leftovers, they need to give that out. If the kids are wanting it, give it out, and to my knowledge, the managers.
So Mr. York is running this tape, and all the cafeteria, they're gonna know that they have to give that food away.
Well, some of our children in this county, the 2 meals they get at our school
Is
is
it?
all they get.
that's all I get, yeah.
And if they need to come back,
From Friday to Monday.
we should feed them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
Well, that's
better
what-
than going in
okay,
a
and that's what
slop
you was-
bucket. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
And I know boys, a lot of boys eat more than girls do. I mean, some of our
Oh,
girls.
I think it's the other way around, girls eat more than boys.
I don't know about that.
I've seen it.
They can, I suppose.
Yes, just approve the nutrition report.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the nutritional report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All second. Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next item is discussion and possible action on revised calendar for 13-14.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the board has been agreed, we continually update the calendar. We still have our 2 spring break days in. Keep in mind that our school year was pushed back 13 school days at the beginning of the year, not involuntarily. So, as the calendar, you have a copy of the calendar in front of you, we just need to approve for that, so we can update that. KDE.
That's the last day.
I was gonna say, what?
May 27th. We need a motion to approve the revised calendar for 13-14.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Next item, discussion and possible action on non-resident contracts.
These contracts are all the same as in the past. It's a 1-for-1. Exception, Lawrence County is not in there to sign. They are making some changes on theirs. And just to give you an idea of why, you understand, I talked with Mike Armstrong up there. We get probably 30 or 40 of his students, and he probably gets about 10 of ours. So they're concerned about the cost there. They're not going to pull those back, but they are looking at grandfathering. It's going to be a 1-for-1 from here on out. But the contracts that will be signed tonight by the chairman do not have Lawrence County in there yet.
Is there any change?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, any second?
I'll say.
Motion second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Next item is reports, administrative staff reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have with us tonight the high school, Dr. Fletcher, and our current technical education principal, Ms. Martha Williams.
I'm going to hand you out a folder. Mr. Meadows has asked me to present some information about career and college readiness. I actually have 3 items in here. I'm not going to go over all 3, but some of them are some informational type things. Bruce, Mr. Price, and Mr. Ball. First and foremost, there's the 3 items in here deal with, first of all, our career and college readiness, and there'll be some numbers I'll go over with the board, and also go over with you guys, and anybody's welcome to ask questions anytime if you'd like. The second item in here, I want to talk a little bit about one of the biggest addition to our accountability process, and that's the program review process. And then the last thing was, you guys did get a newsletter from us earlier, but this one just came off the press right before the board meeting, and I thought I'd bring it along too. So this is the January newsletter for Shelton Park High School. I thought I'd just bring it along. so that you can kind of peruse that when you have time. The first thing on the career and college readiness, just kind of give you an update of where Shelton Park is, where we were. This thermometer goes through basically what you're doing is at the end of each year, and actually in March, you have the junior class all take the ACT. So this is the first time that probably 85 to 90% of our kids ever take the ACT. Now, thankfully, the more information we get out, we're having more and more kids as sophomores, as freshmen, as 8th graders and 7th graders take the ACT. And so that's kind of moving down a lot. But anyway, our career and college readiness numbers increase, after the kids take a test, whether it be the ACT, Compass, or whatever. To start this year, we had 20 CCR points, and I'll talk a little bit more about what our CCR points in a little bit. As of August 2013, that score is based on the junior ACT, and the students became career and college ready as juniors. And again, that came after the March 2013 testing cycle, and that's on the bottom right box. On the left box, in December 2013, Ms. Williams and I, we personally administered the Compass exam. Mr. Allen has administered the Coyote, which is the Kentucky test, and that's an equivalency test. The Compass test is an ACT type test that is not timed. So a lot of our kids do much better on the Compass exam than they do on the ACT because of the time constraints. But both help kids to become college ready. They won't have to take the remedial classes in college. So after administering that, we actually doubled at plus 0.5 our career and college readiness numbers as of December. So we're up to 40.5 points. And just to kind of let you know where this compared to last year, we're right on about in the same area that we were last year. So we're on track to be about the same score as we did last year. Last year, if you look at the top left box, 91.9 was the total CCR points that was accumulated by our students last year. Our index was 68.1. With an index of 68.1, that put us over points higher than the state average. So we were well above state average on the career and college readiness aspect. Now, our goal for this year, in the top right, is 100 CCR points, which give us approximately an index of 70. Okay, so our goal last year, our index last year was 68.1. The state actually set the goal of 62.5 for us, and we exceeded the state goal. And this is out of, if you have 129 students, and let's say that 40.5, you take 40.5 divided by 129, and that's your index. Mr. Meadows has asked us to make a poster of this, and he's helping us out as far as the poster paper and items like this, but we're hoping to make this common throughout the whole district, because Mr. Meadows has pointed out several times that career and college readiness is not just at the high school. It should be something we're investing in K through 12. And I really agree with that. On the second page, I wanted you to see the last map that I could find. It shows you the districts across the state that have met the CCR targets that were set forth by the state. We are one of 100 districts that have met our target, and met the increase that we're supposed to be and actually exceeded. You'll see the counties in green that only went up 10%, and then the others at less than 10%. And basically take your career and college readiness numbers and add 10% to it, and you had to exceed the 10%. And we've done that each time. In 2012, you also see these school systems that did not meet their target. So we more than 10% exceeded our target that was set forth by the state. Career and college readiness is one of the 6 items on our achievement now. Our actual achievement scores that deal with in-course exams, also our GAP scores, which are our students that are on free-reduced lunch and other items, special education. We also have the career and college readiness, graduation rate, and our growth rate. Those are the 5 areas that were last year, and then they added program review. Also wanted to, Ms. Williams does a phenomenal job with kind of keeping me in line with what it takes to be career and college ready, especially from the technical aspect, because it's a learning process. It seems like there's something added every 15 minutes that can help students out. But just to kind of let you know, what does it take to be college ready? Okay, the first column there in the third sheet talks about college readiness, which is 1 point. A student must meet the benchmarks on the ACT, get an 18 in English, 19 in math, or 20 in reading. If they don't meet one of those benchmarks, then they can take the Compass and get a 74 in English, a 36 in math, or an 85 in reading. If they don't meet that, then they can take the Coyote exam. and they have to get a 22 on either math or writing or math or writing or reading of those areas. Now, if they made any of those, we get 1 point for the student. And we know students are more than just a point, but it helps us to diagnose whether they need help. Now, career readiness is much more complicated. Not only do you have to pass a career ready technical. For example, you have to pass the COSA exam or receive an industry certification. And you can see the industry certifications that we offer at the ATC. And we also offer culinary at the high school and also JROTC. We're hoping that JKG gets offered next year as part of the technical. But in order to be career ready, you also have to pass an academic component. Now, if you don't pass it, the ACT can't serve as that academic component, but if you can't meet it on the ACT, or even if you do, regardless, the ASVAB, you can pass the ASVAB or the work keys. And one of the things that Ms. Williams just pointed out earlier, we really want to make that push to have a career-ready community, a work-ready community, so we want all of our students to take the work keys. There's a lot of stories out there of how communities have brought businesses into the community by being a work-ready community. Now, if you are both college and career-ready, you get 1.5 points for that student. So that kind of lets you see how that college and career index comes about. We're hoping, our goal is 100 points, which would put us right around 70.0 as an index. That would put us well above the state average, and which we're trying to shoot for that distinguished school this year. After meeting the proficiency at 58 last year, they've upped it to 70.1, over 12 points. It's going to take 12 more points just to be proficient. But we're not settling for the 12 points. We're shooting for the distinguished. So we're hoping for an index of 75. Now, in order to do that, the next page let me stop there for a second as far as career and college readiness, because there's another aspect I want to talk to you about real quickly. But you have questions about the career and college readiness aspect in the high school.